There is another viral video going around of a black man who was pulled over by cops. I saw it on Threads. This video was apparently filmed in February of this year. I thought it was filmed recently, but after doing some research, it was filmed in February of this year. The video was a lot. Before I get into the report here, the black man, he had dreads, had a red top on. He pulled over in his car and he had his phone mounted, right? And there are two police officers seen outside to his left, demanding that he rolls down the window. They immediately begin to punch the window ferociously and just start beating him. So let's go ahead and get into this article according to The Independent here. The headline reads, "Cops escape criminal charges after video shows them breaking window and punching man in the face during traffic stop." The subhead here says, attorney said it took William McNeil months to recover from his injuries. William McNeil is the man who was beat in the video. And this article was written by Katie Hawkinson in Washington, D.C. on Tuesday, July 22nd. So here is the article here in the report. Florida police officers have escaped criminal charges after breaking a man's car window and punching him in the face multiple times during a traffic stop. William McNeil, who is 22 years old, and he is a black man, was pulled over by Jacksonville officer D. Bowers in February. McNeil used his phone to capture footage of the traffic stop, which went viral this month on social media. And I saw this video on Threads. Literally, I saw this video, pausing from the report, I saw this video Sunday. I saw this video over the weekend. I saw this video on Sunday. And it's just been circulating. I don't know if I'm pretty sure you all have seen it. It's just been circulating. Back to the article. McNeil's attorney, Harry Daniels, says he was not a threat to officers, explaining that the 22-year-old is afraid and noting that in this environment, young men of color are very afraid of police. And that's what he said in his quote, Harry Daniels. That's McNeil's attorney. Meanwhile, the Florida State Attorney's Office has concluded the officers did not violate any criminal laws. The Sheriff's Office is now conducting administrative reviews of the incident, which will determine if the deputies violated agency policy, Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters said on Monday. The Independent has contacted McNeil's attorneys and the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office for comment. So let's go ahead and let's just insert the video. Let's look at it right here. Here we go. And by the way, trigger warning, the video is quite gruesome and quite violent.
Exit the vehicle now! Exit the vehicle! Show me your hands.
Here. I'm here. What is your reason, sir?
Step out.
What is your reason?
Step out now. All right. Get on the ground.
Don't.
Stop fighting!
Put your hands behind your back.
Put your hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. What's wrong with you?
I was putting my hands behind my back.
Ain't no talking now, man. Ain't no talking.
I'm fucking talking shit, bro. I was doing it, bro. What's going on, man?
You're under arrest. That's what's going on.
So, a few facts. According to the Independent here, McNeil was pulled over just after 4 p.m. on February 19th because he didn't have his headlights on during inclement weather, according to a police report obtained by ABC News. The video begins with McNeil telling an off-screen police officer that his driver's side window does not work and that he did not have his headlights on because it wasn't raining. The off-screen officer told him the rain didn't matter and that headlights were required anyway. McNeil asked the officers to pull that law up, which states headlights are required. The officer said he would do so after McNeil steps out of the vehicle. McNeil then asked the off-screen officer to call his supervisor. Moments later, Bowers, who was standing on the driver's side, broke the window, shouted, "Exit the vehicle," and hit McNeil on the side of his face. McNeil was facing forward when Bowers hit him. Bowers then told McNeil, "Show me your hands," which he did. Another officer unclipped McNeil's seatbelt and pulled him out of the car by his arm, and we just saw that in the video. The video is quite graphic. The article continues and says that McNeil was struck again as a group of several officers, including Bowers, pushed him to the ground. So it's a really, really sad video. Also, too, the police did respond and they did release footage of the incidents.
Yeah, Florida 24 Bravo Echo Charlie Whiskey on a silver Kia. I don't know occupants.
Yes, sir.
Is there a reason why you're popping the door open like that?
I don't have a window that works. Is there a reason that you're pulling me over?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why I'm pulling you over. For one thing, inclement weather, you don't have your lights on. Two things, you're not wearing your seatbelt.
It's daylight. I don't need the lights. And it's not weather. It's not raining.
Oh, this is inclement.
It's not raining.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you why I'm pulling you over. Give me your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
No, call your supervisor. Why?
Excuse me?
Call your supervisor. Why did you pull me over?
77, 35. I'm cooperative with the driver. I've already told you.
Why did you pull me over?
Step out of the vehicle.
No.
Step out of the vehicle. 25 for 94. The driver just slammed the door and locked it.
Call your supervisor.
Yep.
What's the reason for pulling me over?
Unit 25 units 1050 at West Palm and Commonwealth.
25 seconds. If anybody responded, come in from Commonwealth, block the vehicle, please.
Well, I'm coming West on Commonwealth. I'll be there in a sec.
Keep your hands where I can see them, sir. Yep, my camera's on too. I've already told you. Okay. Okay. Right now you're under arrest for resisting. You understand? You're under arrest for resisting. The longer you take us on, the worse it's going to be. Keep your hands where I can see them, sir. Okay. Sir, this is your last warning to open the vehicle and exit before we're going to break the window. Open the door and exit or we are going to break the window. Open the door and exit or we are going to break the window. No, he's under arrest. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting. Vehicle's blocked in. He's locked it up. He's putting the window down on the passenger side to talk to 2574. Hey, I'm about to break the window. I'm about to break the window.
All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now! Exit the vehicle! Show me your hands.
Here.
1033 at 1521 hours.
What is your reason, sir? Step out. What is your reason? Step out now.
Get on the ground.
No, don't touch it.
Get on the ground. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. resisting?
Hands behind your back.
What's wrong with you?
What you mean? I was putting my hands behind my back. I was gonna walk.
Ain't no talking now, man. Ain't no talking.
Fucking 2%. Now I'm doing, bro. What's going on, man?
You're under arrest. That's what's
No,
going on.
bro, no, bro.
Yes, bro. Yes.
That's a lawful reason, bro. You gonna throw my phone like that, bro?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it off
now,
of you,
man.
bro.
And I'm just trying to have a regular conversation with y'all, bro.
That's not gonna work.
You just gotta see what the already.
So your partner didn't even ask.
Marijuana in his right pocket.
Yes, it is.
So why close the door if you see him pull up?
Because, man, what you mean? He talking about arresting me and stuff, bro. I didn't do nothing
It's called
wrong.
resisting, idiot.
I didn't do nothing wrong, bro.
I don't know.
Can you back me up to the car so I can mean up?
Sit up.
You a bust my bro.
25 cents. You start rescue. 1067. Approximately 30-year-old Bravo Mike. Lacerations on the lip.
2570. I can go around and get in the car. Okay.
That ain't good.
I know. You should put some gloves on, bro.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What you need? You need tissue? You good?
Yeah, you or him?
Oh, okay. Well, okay, that's it for you too,
And they released that on Monday, which showed the initial minutes of the traffic stop that the cell phone footage did not capture. So they released their own body cam footage that his cell phone did not have, of course, and it gave more context as to what happened with him being pulled over, according to this report. And the footage shows that McNeil opened his car door as Bowers approached the car. Bowers asked why McNeil opened the door. McNeil replied that the driver window didn't work. Wow. So he opened his door because the window didn't work. So Bowers, who was the officer, told McNeil he pulled him over because he didn't have his lights on during inclement weather and because he wasn't wearing his seatbelt. Bowers asked for McNeil's license and registration. McNeil refused and asked Bowers to call his supervisor. Bowers called for backup and said he had an uncooperative driver. McNeil shut the car door soon afterward. After some back and forth, Bowers told McNeil he was arresting him for resisting. Once backup arrived, Bowers repeatedly told McNeil he was under arrest and that he would break the window if McNeil didn't get out of the car. Wow. This is sad.
First of all, I want to thank God for bringing everybody here together, and thank y'all for supporting me. That day, I just really wanted to know, why I was getting pulled over and why I needed to step out the car when I know I didn't do nothing wrong. I was really just scared. And that's it.
On February the 19th, 2025 this year, America saw what America is. You saw injustice. You saw abuse of police power. But most importantly, we saw a young man that had a temperament to control himself in the face of brutality. William McNeil. Let me be clear. And people talked about him pleading guilty to resist without violence and driving on suspended license. That entire stop was not just pretextual, racial motivated, it was unlawful. And everything that stemmed from that stop was unlawful. What we're not going to do this morning is get in the back and forth between the leaders of Jacksonville. What we're going to do, we're going to focus on the facts. And everybody saw the video. You can release all the body cameras you want. But the body camera, the cell phone footage was unedited. Here's a reality. You can talk about a knife being in the car, but it was not a weapon because he did not weaponize it. He stayed calm. The only weapon that day was a Jacksonville sheriff office. The nation saw it. Everybody saw it. And we are here for redress and get justice for the Manille family. A college student on scholarship, doing what's required of him to be a better person. And all he did was exercise his fundamental rights, his God-given rights, to answer a simple question. Why are you stopping me? For not having headlights on during the day? Did y'all see the video where the officers came with no headlights on? No windshield wiping, no smoke, no fog, no rain. So anybody would be confused, why are you stopping me? And he exercised their right to answer that question, and they bullied him, intimidated him, broke his window, and beat him and caused permanent injuries.
This was a classic case of driving while black.
Yep.
And I applaud William McNeil for keeping his demeanor, his calmness. I mean, Attorney Daniels, I thought the trained police officers were supposed to be the ones to de-escalate the matter. They were the ones escalating the matter while this young man represented the best of us. He kept calm. He was trying to de-escalate the matter. He just kept asking simply, why are you stopping me? I mean, think about that. I understand the sheriff said anti-police. No. It's not anti-police when an American citizen asks, why are you stopping me? That is an American citizen exercising his constitutional rights. That's what William was doing. He was exercising his constitutional rights. And Attorney Daniels and I seek to remind America that we are a democracy, that we believe in the Constitution, and that all American citizens have a right to the protections of the Constitution, that this is not a police state where the police are above the law and that they have no accountability. No, the last time I checked, America is still a democracy and our citizens still have a right to the Constitution.
The day I seen that video, I couldn't finish it past the window breaking. It wasn't until maybe a few months ago I finally finished the whole video. But I'm thankful to God for protecting him because I know what the outcome could have been. But I believe in faith in God is what protected my only son. And I thank God.
Here's an important fact about this article, and this is why I appreciate this article. Because we're going to take a side note, journalist hat off. You know, being black in America, being black while driving is a real thing, okay? That's just a real thing. If you are a black man, you get pulled over. It's a real thing. And, you know, one thing that I want to point out, when the ICE raids began to happen on June 6th here in Los Angeles, I remember posting this on my social media, journalist hat off. I was saying how, because I was upset. I was seeing a lot of black people have all these comments about the Latinx community saying how we're going to sit this one out. We're part of the 92%, all this stuff, right? There were black people who were basically taking this moment to berate Latino people, you know, berate Latinx people, right? Just saying how, hey, you know, they voted for him, they have to deal with it, we're not helping them, we're sitting this one out. This is what some black people were saying, not all black people, right? But it was something that I saw on social media. And it was something that, you know, frustrated me because I was just like, we have to come together. Like, we have to come together. You know, we have to be able to see beyond ourselves. And, you know, I remember thinking that and then saying on my Threads account, I said how It says something around the lines of, Black people, we got to get it together because we're going to be next. And you see that happening. You know what I mean? Now, granted, this happened in February before the ICE raids, but the fact that this video is going viral now, sometimes I feel like when things go viral, it drops seeds in people's heads, whether it's good or bad. When things go viral, everyone's watching it, it's getting attention, right? So when I say dropping seeds in people's heads, what if there are officers who are watching this video and they're like, oh, I'm going to go pull over, I'm going to get someone today. You just never know what people are thinking. And it happens, and it's still happening. In the South, that's a real thing. That is a real thing in the South. It's a real thing in California as well. Black people do get pulled over, especially Black men. So, really, really sad video. But back to the article, here's some key facts here. Bowers has been, currently, this is Bowers, he's the officer. It says Bowers has been, quote, in quotes, quote beginning, stripped of his law enforcement authority, end quote, pending the outcome of an administrative review, according to Waters. Force absolutely looks ugly, and because all force is ugly, whether or not the officer involved acted within outside JSO policy, that's still what we're investigating, Waters said. That's still what we're investigating. McNeil's arrest report states the 22-year-old at one point was reaching for the floorboard of the vehicle. Reaching for the floorboard. We all know what that means. Reaching for the floorboard of the vehicle where a large knife was sitting. First Coast News reports. Daniels told the outlet that the narrative in this report isn't just suspicious, it is completely divorced from reality. Waters released a photo of the knife, but said he can't confirm whether the arrest report is true. And Waters continues to say, all I can go by when I read those things is what's stated in the report, he said. I'm not saying whether it's true or whether it's not. I'm saying no one sees his hands at that point. McNeil was charged with resisting arrest, marijuana possession, driving with a suspended license, not wearing a seatbelt, and driving without headlights, ABC News reports. Waters said McNeil pleaded guilty to resisting a police officer without violence. He spent 2 days in jail, ABC News reports. The sheriff's office also released a response to resistance report explaining why officers used force from their perspectives, according to First Coast News. Bowers said that he used force to protect himself and others, as well as to overcome resistance, the outlet reports. And that's from Bowers. Now, according to McNeil's attorney, he took months to recover. And the attorney's last name is Daniels. Earlier I said his name. So Daniels told ABC News that his client is scared following the incident. He is afraid, Daniels said. In this environment, policing in America, especially young men of color, are very afraid of police. McNeil suffered a closed head injury and received 9 stitches after a tooth went through his lip, Daniels told First Coast News. It took him months to recover. Wow. Really, really sad situation, you all. This is really, really unfortunate. Thank you for bearing with me. Drop down below and let me know what you think about this. So, how are you all enjoying the show so far? This is my 13th episode. Might be 2 or 3 parts. I'm not sure. Because I just wanted to really breeze through these topics tonight. Okay? So, I'm having a good time. I'm sipping my tea and delivering the news the way that Kaleef is doing it. Okay? And drop down below and let me know what you think about the topics tonight. Drop down below. I'm trying to not say a lot or right, because I talk as if I'm talking to my friends, because I really like and love my subscribers. I really appreciate y'all. So thank you for supporting me and checking me out. Also too, just a quick little fun fact about my views on the channel. So while I may not have a lot of views on my videos, when I came back, I was a little over 10,000 views. And I'm excited because today it bounced to about 11,650 views. We're almost to 11,650. So actually, no, I'm sorry. 11,000, yes. we're almost to 11,650. So anyways, wait, ooh, I'm all over the place. Sorry, 11,450. Yes, I had to remember my brain. We're almost at 11,450. So thank you all for watching. The views, I'm excited that I've like carried these views with my work, like by myself, okay? So it's something that I'm really, really proud of, and I'm excited. And I thank you for watching and bearing with me as I work out those kinks, because coming back to camera was a little like, not intimidating. I wasn't intimidated. It's just that I haven't done it in a while. And, you know, when you're not in the camera for a while, you gotta like get warm to it again. So I really appreciate you watching, and thank you so much. So on to our next story here. We have some heavy news. I gave you a few lighthearted topics there, or, you know, one or two or whatever. So a judge, according to Associated Press, AP News, a judge gives ex-officer nearly 3 years in Breonna Taylor raid. This is the officer who murdered Breonna Taylor. It was not a killing to me. It was a murder. And also, in the headline here, it says, judge gives ex-officer nearly 3 years in Breonna Taylor raid, rebuffs DOJ call for no prison time. And this article was written by Dylan Loven. Or Dylan Levon, but I believe it's Loven. So according to AP, in Louisville, Kentucky, a federal judge on Monday sentenced a former Kentucky police officer to nearly 3 years in prison for using excessive force during the deadly 2020 Breonna Taylor raid, rebuffing a U.S. Department of Justice recommendation of no prison time for the defendant. Brett Hakinson, who fired 10 shots during the raid but didn't hit anyone, was the only officer on the scene charged in the Black woman's death. And I'm going to do a side note here. It's important to note that this is a white male police officer and a Black woman. Back to the story. He is the first person sentenced to prison in the case that rocked the city of Louisville and spawned weeks of street protests over police brutality that year. U.S. District Judge Rebecca Grady Jennings, in sentencing Hankinson, said no prison time is, quote, is not appropriate and would minimize the jury's verdict from November. Jennings said she was startled, quote unquote, there weren't more people injured in the raid from Hankinson's blind shots. Now, mind you, he shot 10 times. Bear with me, it's late, okay? She, Jennings, sentenced Hankinson, who was 49 years old, to 33 months in prison for the conviction of use of excessive force, with 3 years of supervised probation to follow the prison term. He will not report directly to prison. The U.S. Bureau of Prisons will determine where and when he starts his sentence, Jennings said. Now, the judge who presided over 2 of Hankinson's trials expressed disappointment with the sentencing recommendation by federal prosecutors last week, saying the Justice Department was treating Hankinson's actions as, end quote, an inconsequential crime, end quote, and said some of its arguments were, end quote, incongruous and inappropriate, end quote. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who helped Taylor's family secure a $12 million wrongful death settlement against the city of Louisville, had called the department's recommendation a, quote, an insult to the life of Breonna Taylor and a blatant betrayal of the jury's decision, end quote. Crump was at Monday's hearing and said he had hoped for a long sentence, but was grateful that Hankinson is at least going to prison and has to think for those 3 years about Breonna Taylor and her life that did matter. Her life that mattered. All right, y'all. So this is crazy. Journalist hat off. This is crazy. Nearly 3 years. Wow. Journalist hat back on. Let's do it. Journalist hat is back on. I broke my nail earlier. I think I already said this before. I gotta get it fixed. Afterward, before a crowd outside the courthouse, Crump sounded a familiar chant. The chant said, say her name, and the crowd yelled back, Breonna Taylor. And he and other members of Taylor's family's legal team issued a subsequent statement criticizing the Justice Department. And here is a tidbit from the statement here. While today's sentence is not what we had hoped for, nor does it fully reflect the severity of the harm caused, it is more than what the Department of Justice sought. That in itself is a statement, the statement said. A little bit more to take us back to March 2020 when Breonna Taylor was murdered. Hankinson's 10 shots of the night of the March 2020 botched drug raid flew through the walls of Taylor's apartment into a neighboring apartment, narrowly missing a neighboring family. The 26-year-old's death, along with the police killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis, sparked racial injustice and police brutality protests nationwide that year. But the Justice Department, under new leadership since President Donald Trump took office in January, sought no prison time for Hankinson. In an abrupt about-face by federal prosecutors after the department spent years prosecuting the former detective, they suggested time already served, which amounted to 1 day and 3 years of supervised probation. Taylor's mother, Tamika Palmer, said she was disappointed that the new federal prosecutors assigned to the case were not pushing for a tougher sentence on many occasions inside the courtroom. Monday, lead federal prosecutor Rob Keenan agreed that Hankinson's defense attorneys on factors that would decrease Hankinson's punishment. Cool. And here is a statement from Palmer. This is Breonna's mother. There was no prosecution in there for us, Palmer said afterward. Brett had his own defense team. I didn't know he got a second one, end quote. Now, a little bit more details about the shooting here, and we'll wrap this up soon. Taylor was shot in her hallway. Sorry, sometimes my allergies, like my face itch. Ooh. Sorry, back to the story. Taylor was shot in her hallway by 2 officers after her boyfriend fired from inside the apartment, striking an officer in the leg. Neither of the officers was charged in state or federal court after prosecutors deemed they were justified in returning fire into the apartment. Louisville police used a drug warrant to enter Taylor's apartment, but found no drugs or cash inside. A separate jury deadlocked on federal charges against Hankinson in 2023, and he was acquitted on state charges of wanton endangerment in 2022. And that's wanton endangerment, that's what it says here. In their recent sentencing memo, federal prosecutors wrote that though Hankinson's response in these fraught circumstances was unreasonable, given the benefit of hindsight, that unreasonable response did not kill or wound Breonna Taylor, her boyfriend, her neighbors, defendants, fellow officers, or anyone else. That's from federal prosecutors. Now, Jennings acknowledged on Monday that officers were provoked by Taylor's boyfriend's gunshots, but said, and here's the quote, that does not allow officers to then do what they want and then be excused. We're gonna wrap it up there. So go check out the full Associated Press article. Excellent article here. Thank you for being graceful with me getting a little jumbled there. But yeah, this is sad news. You know, journalists hat off. Breonna Taylor is receiving a form of justice, but this is really, really causing outrage, you know, in the Black community, because we see this time and time again, and I'm saying we because I'm Black. Journalists had us off. This is commentary here. We see this time and time again, and it brings up the question here. You can drop down below and answer this question. When will police brutality stop? When will this country, you know, do better by Black people? We were kind of on our way there with George Floyd. There was a lot of white guilt going on. But that's gone now, baby. They closing down the Kennedy Center, the African-American, tackling African-American history, taking away books, getting rid of critical race theory, getting rid of women's studies, getting rid of all the, Chicano studies, getting rid of all these things that not only just Black people, but other marginalized communities need, other marginalized people need to have access to publicly. It's a lot. Drop down below and let me know what you think. And thank you for watching.